Hey Zealots, it's Justin. I'm sitting here with, of course, the DC Browns. Now that the week is over, I don't mind sitting next to them, especially since I got the win. But let's just stick with the topics here. Before we get into it, I do want to hand out this week's Smashers. All right, I want to congratulate everybody on a Week 1 win, but of course we only got a few trophies we can hand out every week. So for this week, for the Kemet Empire, the Smasher goes to the Punishers. The Orthodons gets it for the Zulu Empire. For the Mali, well, you know who that is, and we'll be talking about him all night, I'm sure. That's the Orphan Makers. And then for the Kush, we'll probably be mentioning him a few times too. That's the Mississippi Bullbacks. It's a little too early to break out the cows. We'll pull them out later on. But Mississippi got the Smasher for his division. And of course, the league high score goes to, well, that would be the Orphan Makers. That's right. So congratulations to these and all Week 1 winners. But it's been a good beginning.
Yeah, it has for some of us, maybe. not all of us. I'm telling you.
I'm not sure what he's talking about. We got, I mean, definitely some people who are standing out in the league, right? I mean, already. Orphan Makers coming in at 150 points. Historically, that is his only second league high score in Zealot history.
Wow.
Just FYI.
In a
But
big way.
a big way, right? I mean, I really want to talk about the Orthodons and the Orphan Makers, who both got the 2 highest scores in the league. So if you look at their teams, for the Orphan Makers, he's got Brady, right? He's got, who gave him 34 points this week. Darren Sproles, which is my question, right? Darren Sproles got him 28 points this week. You think Darren's going to get him points like that every week?
Well, let me tell you something. It really doesn't matter. The Browns had some degree of success last season.
Okay.
And I credit that to the Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates combination.
Nice.
I mean, you got a quarterback hooking up with his tight end early and often all season. And of course, we fell short at the end. Why? Antonio Gates went down.
Okay.
Bad toe, whatever it was. But this year, I like the Orphan Makers. I'm telling you right now, I'm picking them to be there late in the season, even at the end. Why is that? Because the Brady-Welker combination.
Yeah.
You got a prelim quarterback hooking up with his wide receiver early, and he's going to do it often. I'm telling you, he really feels comfortable throwing the ball to Wes Welker. He's got 1 million targets out there.
That's true.
You know, I got Ocho Cinco. They're also on the Patriots team. 1 reception.
Yeah. 1
reception, 1 point he got for me this season.
Well, we knew that was going to happen. I mean, the lockout probably hurt him as far as that's concerned. Plus, Ocho's got his own concerns about, you know, what they're saying is learning the system. I imagine he's got concerns of getting on somebody else's page minus his own ego. So it's going to take a little while, I mean, for him to work that out.
Yeah, I'm not hopeful it's going to happen. Getting open is getting open. He didn't do it this past week, and you know, I don't know he's ever. I mean, Brady just has way too many targets to throw to, and he feels most comfortable, obviously, with Wes Welker.
And Wes got Orphan Makers 28 points, and he's also got that Eagles D. That Eagles D got him 34 points this week, right? And who'd they play?
They played the Rams.
They played the Rams. Yeah. So possibly, maybe that's related to who they played, but their D just looks good.
You know what? It does and it doesn't. Let's look at that Rams game and the Eagles defense performance in that. Another player that happens to be a DC Brown this year is Steve Jackson. Give the ball to him once.
He was a previous Orphan Maker for many a year, so good luck with him.
You know what? He rips off, what was it, a 57-yard touchdown run. Okay. Don't see him in the rest of the game. Okay. He was excited about that Eagles game, and why is that? Because the young linebacker core of the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm telling you, the running backs will be licking their chops versus the Eagles defense this year. If it's going to be something that hurts the Orphan Makers, like you said, it's going to be the iffiness of Darren Sproles, but look out for that Eagles defense.
You're not too keen on it?
I'm not too keen on it.
Okay.
I think they're going to get hurt.
All right.
But you know, he still has, what is that? I think he's got the Raiders defense on the bench.
Well,
played him 13 points this week.
I'll never buy off on that one. The only thing I do want to say before we move on is that the Eagles D picked up, was it Sante, whatever, the funny name guy from the Raiders, right?
Right.
And so it's going to be hard to pass on them. And in this league, you're getting points for interceptions, right? And for returns. So I think that may, you know, provided extra points for him with that Eagles D. But moving on quickly, so for the orphan makers, right, the other guy that scored fairly high, Orthodon, excuse me, he's got Aaron Rodgers at 24 points, Steve Smith, who we'll talk about, at 29. The Bears gave him 30, and then later on he's got Plaxico. Now I'm not sure what that's going to do, right? But either way, Plaxico this week got him 13. He's got some other just honorable mentions. Deshaun Jackson. He even picked up Hightower. He's got names that.
The blind homer he is, right? He loves those Redskins.
Yes, he's a diehard. But you know, for that long distance, and we'll talk about another diehard later, which is just ridiculous.
I know what you're talking about.
But we'll save the cows for later. You know, for a team, right? The Orthodons actually look decent going for a long distance. Definitely a playoff contender. I don't think that this week was too much of a fluke. I really don't.
But don't they every year though?
No.
They start out of the gate strong.
2 years ago they did. Last year they didn't.
Okay, last year may have been, you know, that might have been not the norm.
Okay,
you know,
all right.
The year before that and the year before that,
I agreed on that.
Came out the gate strong, and they just didn't have enough to take it late in the season. So I don't see why this season's going to be any different. I think they have the Mofos next week, it's a tough team to beat. I mean, you know, the Mofos were. They've got Ben Roethlisberger as their quarterback, who got punished. Punished by the Ravens.
Which may not happen again. I'm curious to see how Roethlisberger handles that.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think the Ravens probably game plan for the last 4 to 6 weeks on this game one. And
so the lockout was over, they talked about week one.
Exactly. And it's probably going to be all we see from the Ravens. I mean, the defense is getting old.
The other two teams that I want to talk about that scored over 100 were the Punishers. You got Kevin Kolb. He didn't do it in a miraculous way. All right, he got 108. It's still 108 points. It's a lot more than what the Pharaohs made, and obviously the Browns.
Yeah.
But either way, he's got Cobb, right, who actually looked pretty good in that Cardinals offense. Kenny Britt, which I don't know if you can count on him for a long term. And he's picked up Reggie Wayne, which obviously has his own issues with
somebody getting him the ball.
With somebody getting him the ball. But he scored 108. The guy that I was making reference to before scored 103 points, and that was Mississippi. Now, I don't know if you saw this or not. He was putting up a little bit of smack talk up on the league page. Go check it out. But two things I do want to say. One is that you know that the commissioner obviously can't come back with witty retorts to you know, just to try to stay impartial. But as long as you don't ever talk to a Pharaoh like that, I think you'll be okay.
Wow.
But either way, I just want to get that out there. All right. I don't know what you think. Actually, you know, went underneath the radar. We did peep it. But so he picked up in his first draft pick. He picked up Tony Romo. All right, Romo got him 17 points. You know, this guy did score 103. I do want to say that. Congratulations to you. It's more than me. All right, it's more than what the Pharaohs made. But just, you know, again, 17 points for that. He picked up Des Bryant, I think, with his second pick.
He did.
That was 13, and the Jets D got him 25. Do you see this guy going the distance?
Well, I tell you what, you know, again, I can't say much. I believe my quarterback, Phillip Rivers, I think he got me 17 points this week as well. Well, let me tell you something. Anybody that saw that Cowboys game, any Cowboys fan should be embarrassed right now. The Cowboys clearly had the Jets beat all day and night, and it was all Romo gave it up. Fumbles, turnovers, late in the game. It was ridiculous. So it is very indicative of Tony Romo play, though.
So you're saying it's fixable?
It's fixable by getting another quarterback.
Wow.
Which, you know, in this league, there ain't nothing out there.
Do you think Romo was worth a first-round draft pick?
Absolutely. We all knew it when we saw it. Now, again, you know, he's got the potential to make you know, make us all look like the fool. But, I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, Tony Romo has been killing the Dallas Cowboys for the last 4 or 5 years. So I don't see why this year is going to be any different. Tony Romo, you're not going to win with him.
Wow.
Plain and simple. Well, I do want to mention, though, I do like the Mississippi Bullbacks logo. We really need to get that thing on a helmet.
Okay.
So talk to Bassett about that. He can hook you up.
Anybody you want to discuss?
You know, the main thing I want to talk about, I think, is injuries. You know, I think we all knew it was going to be a problem because of the shortened off season and the lockout. And you know, it certainly hit me. Like I said, my star player, Steven Jackson, went out first play of the game. He's going to be out this week too. You know, might be a little early to write the season off, but man, I ain't looking for a lot to come from the Browns.
He is prone to injuries. I think his thighs got too big where they separated themselves from the bone. You hit that guy in the thighs too many times, like they did this week. He ends up getting quad injuries. I mean, he had it last year or the year before. I mean, he gets it often. Maybe they're just too big.
I mean, well, you know, what about, you know, Arian Foster? Is he out this week too?
I don't know. I know he was obviously out last week. Ward got in, right?
Yeah, Ward and my man Ben Tate, he got
right. Yeah, Tate is nice. And there's plenty of people out there on waivers. So make sure you guys take a good look at that before I forget. I don't know if Aaron's coming back. I think that they're obviously hoping he is, but I have not heard anything conclusive. Anyway, anything else you want to drop in real quick?
I'm done. You know, losing begets losing. I'm a little nervous over here.
I don't want to sit too close to him. But either way, Zealots, congratulations. Again, the games are Sunday. Keep an eye on your waivers. If you have any questions, as always, hit me up. All the phone numbers and cell phone numbers on the league page, even yours, Mississippi.
Anything on the smackboard other than the bullback?
No. It's a little early for smackboard stuff, but at least other than what the bullbacks typed in. But anyway, Zealots, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later.
Holla.
Bye-bye.
This is how we do. We make a move and act the fool while we up in the club. This is how we do. Nobody do it like we do it, so show us some love. This is how we do. We make a move and act the fool while we up in the club. This is how we do. Nobody do it like we do it, so show us some love.
Fresh like Impala.